Hi guys, welcome back to Bizzy Girl Era. This episode I'm really excited for today. Before we get into the episode, I want to talk a little bit about just what's been going on. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a while, so I wanted to do a little recap and some updates going on in my life. Starting with, it was my birthday, which was really fun. I turned 25 and I didn't have a quarter life crisis yet, but it's not too late. So looking forward for whenever that hits. Could be next week. Could have already passed, actually. I could have had it last week. Anyway, though, I turned 25. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for my birthday. I kind of wanted to have a party and invite some friends over because I feel like for the first, not the first time in my life, well, actually, kind of technically, yeah, like I have like a really good group of friends that I get to hang out with that I feel so lucky to have and that I've gotten to meet for the past. I honestly haven't known some of them that long, but I've gotten close to them the more I've gotten involved in like community and going to different events. I've met so many incredible people. So this was the first time in a while I really contemplated having a birthday party. I didn't, but it was the first time in a really long time that I thought about having one. I feel like I might have touched on this before in one of the previous episodes, but for a while I was really bad at like mixing different friend groups. Like I didn't like, I'm trying to think of an example. People I met through, like, let's say dance. Like, I used to dance growing up. People I met through dance, I wouldn't want to mix them with, like, friends from school, and I wouldn't want to mix that with, like, my family. And I feel like I didn't want to do that because we're getting, like, deep fast. I didn't think this episode was going to do this. I was going to talk about my birthday, but apparently I love just to have deep conversations very quickly. I feel like I didn't like mixing those groups of people because I felt like, what's the word? People pleaser. I know that I have people pleasing tendencies. I'm trying to get over them and like I'm actively working on it. And it has progressed a bunch. It has progressed a shit ton for sure. But there's still some of those little things inside me. And for so long, I didn't like mixing those groups together because it was like, well, I am constantly adapting and changing in each of my friend groups and around my family. And I don't feel like I really do that anymore, which is such an amazing feeling. Like I love mixing together my friends with my family. Like it feels so much more relaxing. Like I remember when I had birthday parties growing up, I couldn't put my finger on why, but I'd be like, why do I hate this? Like I love the idea of birthday parties, but when it came to the actual day, I never fully felt satisfied. And then I felt bad about that. I was like, oh my gosh, my parents threw me this party and I am somehow like the least happy person here. And it didn't always happen that way. I'm definitely like being dramatic about it, but I feel like that would be the case when I did have birthday parties sometimes, especially like as I got older. Anyway, I got a little bit off track. I really contemplated having a birthday party because I feel really happy with the people that I am surrounding myself with. But then it ended up that I'm not a good planner. And I just really wanted a vacation also. It's getting so warm where I live, so I really wanted to take off also. And I had been having literal dreams of going to visit Carmel by the Sea. I went there in October, and since I went there, I kept thinking about it. I used to be a NorCal hater. Sorry. I still really do like Southern California a lot. Honestly, I just love all of California. Like, there's just so much beauty in California. It's such a cool place to live. But I wasn't sure where I wanted to spend. I wasn't sure where I wanted to spend my birthday at, and then I literally kept having dreams about Carmel by the Sea. If you haven't been there before, it's gorgeous. I heard about it from so many people for so long, and I didn't believe them because I always think everyone's lying. And people were talking about it, and I was like, this sounds like a good place for a day trip. And they were underselling it because there's so many good, cute local food spots there. There's like barely any chain stores and it's close to the water. Oh my gosh, everything's just so walkable. We stayed in town, which was my first time doing that, and it was so beautiful. I feel like the beach in general, I love going to. It feels like it's like rejuvenating and refreshing. Like every time I leave, I'm like, this is such a nice reset. I love making time to do even like little day trips. I always say, especially when I go to like Santa Barbara, it's like 2 hours away. Whenever I go to like Santa Barbara or anywhere coastal, I'm like, why do I not just make a day trip out of this? Well, actually, I know by now. Gas is freaking expensive. The other day, I spent over $100 on gas. $100. I just kept watching it go up, and I was like, oh my God, like 70, 80, 90. And I was just like staring at it in the Sam's Club parking lot. And I was like, no freaking way. So that is the reason I'm not doing day trips right now, for sure. But I just need to bite the bullet and not be a little baby and still just go, because every time I do go, it's worth it for my happiness. Like, sorry, bank account, but I don't know. It feels good. Money comes and goes, but I love being happy and I love going to travel to different places. I feel like that's why so many people sometimes think that I am like, like they have this vision of me of being like extremely wealthy, because especially in high school, that happened a lot. Like, my family and I would always go out of town. Like, I would skip school all the time and like go to the beach for like days, or we'd go to like Mexico or somewhere random. And for one, my sister is extremely good at finding deals and cheap prices. And also, like, we just really prioritize traveling and seeing the world and seeing how different people live. So somehow got really off track. Basically, it was my birthday. My boyfriend and I went to Carmel by the Sea and spent some time down there for a few days, and it was beautiful. If you guys are thinking about planning a trip, definitely just like make it higher on your to-do list, especially if you live somewhere where it's freaking hot and you need to escape the heat just for a couple days. It's just so good to go and like come back feeling like refreshed. So try to make time and try to make like a little baby budget for it that you can go explore. Highly recommend it. Anyway, on to today's episode. My frontal lobe has developed. I can rent a car legally. Basically, I'm the smartest person in the world. Obviously, I'm joking. But today's episode was actually sent in. It was a question sent in by one of you guys, and it was about growing your page, whether it's as a content creator and also as a business, like how I got started and any like tips and tricks I have. And when I first got this question, I was like, is that going to be an entertaining episode? And I almost completely scratched it today. And then I was like, I'm going to start like writing down some topics, and then if it sounds interesting, I'll make an episode out of it. And literally, like, the second I got down and started writing, a minute into plotting, a minute into like drafting this episode, and like what I saw for like a little outline of the episode, I was like, holy crap, like this is going to be a good episode. Like, I have so many stories to tell about not only like tips and tricks I learned, because I don't want to just hit you with a bunch of like knowledgeable stuff that makes you feel like you're in school, but I also want to tell you guys about things I regret doing so you don't make the mistakes that I made, because I feel like for the most part you can't make mistakes. We're going to get into all of that. I want to talk about like how I got into content, how I built my platform from scratch, like if I had to start over today, what I would do. And it applies like if you're starting a business, if you are like, I want to create content, or maybe you just want to get more comfortable in front of the camera, like take any of these tips and tricks. Like, I promise you guys, you will something. Can I slow down for a second? You will learn something from this episode, and I'm so excited. Okay, so let's get into the episode. Okay, so first I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about how I got started and how I got into making content, because it was definitely accidental. Like I've mentioned in prior episodes, I always did love making content like on YouTube and just messing around and having fun, but I never really thought about it more than that. Oh, actually, that's a lie. At first I was like, I'm going to become Bethany Moda. Like I said, I was like, I am the next big thing. But then I would be like, I'm done with it. Like, I would go through different phases. So anyway, that's like, I use it as a creative outlet for sure here and there, but it was like such quick phases that I would go in and out of. And yeah, for job wise, I didn't really picture myself being on camera like for a job. Like, I pictured myself working a 9 to 5, and as we know, things unfolded to where they are now. But I wanted to walk you guys through it, just a wee baby amount. So it first started that I had a small business when I was 16 that I was running, and I was posting a bunch on Instagram, and I was mostly doing it out of fun, just like using it as a way to see like what kind of posts do people like what leads to more like bookings and more products being sold, and kind of like keeping loose track of that, because I'm not a very organized person. But it was really cool to see like, oh, I post this photo, 7 people buy something. Like, that was really cool to see. So I started playing around with that. I got really into Canva and started making like the craziest looking graphics in the world and utilizing social media in that way, which at the time where I'm living, a lot of people weren't utilizing, a lot of small businesses weren't utilizing it that way, especially. And I started sharing a little bit about myself on the platform, also on Instagram. I started posting a little bit of behind the scenes, and people were really resonating with it. And as I started posting more on there, some small businesses reached out, different like restaurants, and they asked me like, "Hey, like we always see you posting." They DM me and they said, "Who runs your social media? It's so cute." Like even some of them had found me through bookings. Like they booked me for a family party, and then they were like, "Hey, we own blah 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 place in town. Would you be interested in like telling us who your social media person is?" And maybe luckily, maybe not luckily, I've always looked a little older than I am. So I think a lot of these people thought that I was older, but I was really like, shoot, I don't know, 16, I think 17 at the oldest. Yeah. Running all these pages for these different businesses in town. And it was really fun, but I was not the most organized person ever. Like I did not have a set schedule. Thinking about it now, I try to block it out of my brain because I was so unorganized. Like I did get it done, but it was in the most unorganized fashion ever. Like I'm good at procrastinating, so it's hard. Like I get it done, and then I just get stuck in like the procrastination cycle. I'm a lot better now. Like I've been time blocking these past couple of weeks. Again, that's really inconsistent, but that has helped me a lot. Just putting a schedule in and like writing everything I need to do and giving myself little like time deadlines for it. Anyway, though, that's a whole other thing. If you guys want to know more about that, DM me, message me. We can talk about it in a different episode. But yeah, so these companies started reaching out to me, and I would like play around a little bit on their social media also. Obviously, it was a little more stressful because they had expectations, and a lot of these businesses wanted to see numbers. They were like, "We want to see more likes on the page." And it's like, for me, that was kind of strange because I was like, don't you want to see more orders? Like that doesn't always transfer over into, oh, you got a bunch of likes and a bunch of people ordered from your site or whatever your like monthly revenue goals would be. So that is definitely something that was strange to me, that stuck out. Not all businesses were like that I worked with, but that was just something that I noted because even when I was like 17, I was like, you guys are looking at it wrong. Like if you want my job to be to get you more likes, I can do that, but I don't know. That's always kind of strange to me. Anyway, though, so I was running those different accounts, and then during COVID and college, yeah. So I think like my second year into college, first year, no, it still was my first year into college. I got a job at my college working in marketing, and I met a lot of like fun people there, and it was more of like a group, like collaborative experience. There was a lot of like sharing of like flyers going on. We make for different school events, and they wanted me to learn how to use not Canva. They were actually really against me using Canva, and I was like, I am bringing this to the school. Like we will be using Canva. They wanted me to use, oh my gosh, Adobe. They wanted me to use Adobe. They wanted me to use Adobe, and I was so stubborn. Like I was so against it, and I wish I wasn't. I was just being so lazy. And like so many times too, I would get my Canva designs and then I'd put them on Adobe, and then they'd be like, oh, whack. If you guys have like done that before, you know that it's a terrible process. And I was so lazy instead of just learning how to use Adobe. So that was interesting. I skipped ahead actually. Before that job, I had worked for a local photographer too. I had a bunch of like random jobs that all kind of revolved around marketing and editing and just appealing to a whole bunch of different like consumers and clients, I'd say. So in high school, while I was running these little businesses, my own business, I also got a job working for a local photographer, and I'd help him out, and I would shoot at like different wedding events, and then I'd edit some of the photos. And he also wanted me to use Adobe, and again, I was so lazy. Like I only learned how to use the most simple effects on there. I would love to get back into it. Right now, I'm editing the podcast on CapCut, and my poor little iPad is begging. It's like, please use a real computer, and please use something that is meant to edit large files like these. So, we're still figuring it out. I will always be a lazy girl at my core, but this will get better, I promise. Anyway, so that's always honestly been like a kind of a common theme, is that like so many people wanted me to learn these programs, and I kind of like cheated my way out of it, but I did get it done. So I worked with a photographer for a little bit, and then COVID happened. I got the job at my college, where I was still working in marketing, making like flyers and different things like that. And one day while I was working there, I was on my break and they had a career fair going downstairs at my college. So I went downstairs and I saw this beauty company and I was like, whoa, I didn't know that they had headquarters in Bakersfield, California. That was kind of crazy. So I put my resume in. I was like, that was kind of fun. Like, why not? Like this job that I had in college, it's not forever. And I was making like nothing. Like I was making less than, In-N-Out workers make good money. I was going to say less than like a fast food worker, but they make like kind of good money, honestly. Like I was making like $15.50 an hour. And all, and then that all got taxed. It was awful. It was fun though. Like I got to hang out with my friends, but So I was downstairs, dropped my resume off because also after I graduated, which would be coming up in like another year at that point, you lose your job at the school. It's only for like student marketing assistants. So after that, I got an interview at this beauty company, and I actually went during one of my breaks at school to interview. Like I remember, it was like one of the worst semesters ever. I had classes starting at 9 a.m., which I'm just not a morning person, okay? I know that's like not super early, but I had dance like 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then class okay, I think I'm lying. I think I had class at 10. Yeah, I was trying to give myself the benefit of the doubt. And then I'd go home after dance practice, take a little nappy nap, and then I'd wake up and I would like rush over to class and I would like zoom over in my car and and I would go to class, and then I had like a little break before classes later on. I even had a class that ended at 9:45 p.m. at night. That's crazy. Why are you doing like what? That was such an insane class schedule that I had. Anyway, though, that aside, I was on one of my breaks and planned my interview to go in. I went into this interview and I remember being in such a bad mood. I was in a good mood when I got there. And then when I got to the place, I was like, this is so cute inside. And then I tell them I'm here to interview. And they're like, great, we just have some forms for you to fill out before. I'm filling out the forms, like my name, this, da 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 da. And then there's a math equation. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, why is there a math equation on here? Like, I'm literally on break from school right now. Like, last thing I want to do is more math. So I'm looking at this. I remember like literally cussing out in my head, like, this is so fucking stupid. Like, what the hell? Why would they even do this? Like, do you think I want to do math right now? I was in a cranky mood. I don't even know why. It was just like random, simple-ish math problems, but I was just being a little bitch baby about it. So I'm like filling that out, and then fast forward, I end up getting the job, and it was a part-time job. Quit my other one, was like, sorry friends, gonna miss you guys. Luckily still in contact with them today, but I started like working there, and that's when I really got thrown into a lot and also learned a lot there and was able to use my skills I had developed at these other jobs and kind of tie it into this new job I had. And also this job was really, I'm trying to think of the right word. They wanted me to do a lot, basically. Like, I had to be really adaptable. The position at first was supposed to be like social media coordinator. And I think that is like a common theme in marketing jobs. They kind of just assume like they can hire you for one position and that you'll be able to take on like all these other ones. Like, I've heard that quite a bit from my other friends that have worked in marketing, where like maybe they get a job as, I'm trying to think, as someone who's supposed to write captions, and then next thing you know, they might be asked to like be on camera, and then they're asked to like post on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and everything. And there's just a lot of like overlapping parts that people just categorize marketing into. Anyway, that's a separate rant. But yeah, I started working there, and I was supposed to be, I'm trying to think of what my title was. Maybe like social media something. Not coordinator. Was it? Couldn't tell you. I still was like making barely any money there. So I got a job there and started out social media, and it was pretty slow when I first started, and then it quickly started ramping up, and then I proposed new ideas to them. Partially my own fault. They wanted me to start being on camera more. And at first I was like, oh, I'm down. Like, this is kind of fun. A little nerve-wracking, but I'm down for this. And I love the freedom of it, though. Like, I would, I love-hate relationship, because I would throw out like 20 ideas, and some of them would be so funny. But like, anyone that has worked in marketing and corporate America knows that they shoot your ideas down like crazy, because sometimes they just don't understand them also. Like, obviously I'm at a different age than the founders of the company. So there's some stuff they're like, I don't even like, what are you showing me right now? And explaining TikTok trends is so dehumanizing. Like I'm in these like business meetings and I know I look like a fool, but like I also know it'll grow their accounts where I'm like, hey, like this is a TikTok trend. I never did this one, but this is like an example of like, you guys know the trend that's you like put the phone down, you're like, can you watch my boss for a second? And you put the phone down and leave. There was ones like that I would try to show them and they'd be like, what are you showing us? Like, no, we're not going to do this. This doesn't even make any sense. And I'm like, just trust. But also, nah, I get it. I hope that I wouldn't be that way. Like when I start developing my Bizzy Bean coffee company more and more and hire people on, that I'm open to all ideas, especially like the older I get. Like, I don't know. I hope part of me hopes that I was in that position so I could try to be more open than that when I do keep growing my company. Hopefully that makes sense without me sounding like I'm mean. My point in bringing up the content was the founders of the company were really against showing their face on camera. And more than ever, if you've listened to past episodes, you know that I really advise anyone that wants to create content to show their face on camera, especially as a business owner. But if you're listening to this and you're like, I'm not doing that, Maya, I don't care what you say, I'm not putting my face in front of a camera, find someone who will. That's my next best piece of advice. Find a cousin, a sibling, an aunt, an uncle, a mom, a son, a daughter. Find someone that you can make the face of the brand because people love familiarity. They love consistency in that way, and then automatically like it clicks in their brain. Like I think a big part of the reason my page started growing at first when I first started creating like food and coffee reviews is people saw my face, they knew what to expect. They're like, this girl's gonna show us some sort of thing we've never seen before or something that I'm going to be interested in because of these past videos I've seen. Like they see my face and I feel like there's a familiarity there. And I've noticed the same thing too when I look at other people's content. I don't know, there's just some like comfortability when I see someone and recognize them. Like my brain's instantly like, oh, okay, this is my show, this is my program, I'm going to watch it, you know? And even as I had these jobs, I was still trying to like play as much as possible. I started a podcast with my sister during COVID and got to experiment that way and see what kind of content resonated with our viewers. And yeah, I've always tried to sprinkle that in. Even with this podcast now, like there's so many reasons I started this podcast, but also I wanted it to be like a fun, cathartic place just to like chat with you guys and hear feedback from you guys that I can give in longer form content. But also like I want to be able to play around and see like this is a different realm. I haven't experimented with podcast posting in so freaking long, so I think it's going to be really fun to also see like what kind of posts you guys like it's just so fun. I love it. Now we're going to talk about like what actually built my platform. Before I talk about if I had to start over, I want to talk about what I did to actually build my platform. And I'm going to warn you now, I have some unpopular opinions in here. Okay, starting off with a very unpopular opinion that everyone tells you not to do. If you're a content creator and you don't have a niche, don't pick one. Don't pick one yet. Post whatever you want to post. Everyone told me not to do this. Even as I was posting, kept seeing so many things say not to do exactly what I was doing. I'm proof that it works. I was literally posting, I've talked about this before, but I was literally posting the most random things ever, experimenting. And at first when I was experimenting, I thought in my head, I was like, I'm going to do whatever people respond to the best. I'm going to post more content like that. And at first it kind of started out that way. Like when I found out that posting videos locally about like hidden gems and coffee shops that people have never seen before, I noticed that so many people started following me from there. And I was like, oh heck yeah, I'm just gonna stick to this niche until I die. And I just kept like rolling with it and going with it and finding new spots. And it was amazing. It was so fun. And then literally one day, I kid you not, like I wake up and I'm like, I'm tired of this. Like I'm burnt out. I thought I found like a cycle and something that works and that I should just stick to it. And I was like, holy crap, like I'm in the same, like it felt like I was almost in the same mindset of working my 9 to 5 at that point. I was so confused and lost because I was like, why am I feeling these same feelings that I had working a full-time job? Like I have flexibility and I was like, I have these things that I wanted, but I'm not happy. Like what's going on? Like I need to switch something up. And I was like, well, I can post whatever I want. And that was true at first. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Like, I know that posting local content definitely gave me an edge at first. Like, it was performing so well consistently. Like, time after time, I would get videos with thousands of likes on them. And that was really cool to see. So I really like rode that wave for a while. And I think it was comforting also knowing that I could start over whenever. And even now, I have to convince myself of that time and time again to remember I'm not stuck in any of the content I post. Like sometimes I'll get an offer of a brand deal and I'm like, is this going to put me in a box? Or people going to think that I only do, I don't know, skincare videos now? And it's like, no, if they do think that too, who cares? Like it's my channel and I can experiment and post whatever I want. I can work with a company once and decide I never want to do it again. While I'm working for a company, hey, this doesn't feel right. And that's fine to tell them that it doesn't resonate with my content. Like I'm totally fine doing that stuff now that I definitely wasn't able to before. And that goes back to people-pleasing tendencies. Anyway, though, this is what I would do if I had to start over today. As a business content creator, I like apply these ways in whatever ways you want to. Number one tip. Again, it's kind of a crazy tip. Don't wait to feel ready. I think that applies in many ways in life, but especially content. I had such an idea in my head that, well, once I quit my job, I start. Well, once I don't know, have the clearest skin in the world, then I'll start. Once I'm confident this day, I'll start. Spoiler, I was never confident the day that I started recording videos. It's always scary and always made me feel a little bit insecure when I was starting to film videos. Like it's so hard to look at yourself in the camera and also to hear your voice playing back. Again, like that is such another thing I hated and loved about my last like full-time job is that I would have to do so many voiceovers. First day on the job, they made me do a voiceover and I was like, this is rough. This is rough to hear my voice. And at that point, I don't even know if I brought my AirPods with me at that moment. Like I think I was like everyone around me was listening to my voice. Like I had it on volume 1, like trying to listen up to my ear. Anyway though, such a blessing because that got me so used to hearing my voice and getting used to it and not feeling icky about it. Like now I listen to my voice back, I have no emotion to it. That's crazy. That's crazy to say. And I thought that was something like some people like their voice, some people don't. No. I mean, well, maybe some people do like their voice, but I hated hearing my voice back. And now like I don't mind it at all. Like, and in fact, like I've gotten compliments on my voice, like, and I love that. That honestly like boosted my ego enough to start a podcast. I was like, well, hell, okay. I was like, some people don't mind my voice and kind of like it. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, don't try to like change your voice. Just try to be you. But again, that happens over time. Like if you scroll back, very beginning of my page, I highly recommend you don't. You'll see and hear videos of me where you're like, well, her voice is like extra high pitched in that one. I will say the only times I do still low-key hate my voice is when I'm a little when I have like allergies or I'm a little sick and I'll start like recording the video. And I've even tried, I've never posted it, but I've tried to like mess with the pitch before because like I get all like, I sound all like nasally and like gross when I'm sick, you know? That's like my number one pet peeve. I've even had to tell some clients before like, hey, can I get this video to you like in another like 3 days? Like I sound not good. There's so many times though, even with that, like it's always so much worse in our noggin than what people hear. Like I've played it back before for like family and friends and they're like, that's how you sound in real life. And then I'm like, for one, ouch. For two, good to know. Like no one can even tell half the time. We're just so self-critical of ourselves. So that is the hardest part, that you're never going to feel ready. There's never going to be a perfect day. The more you just keep pushing it off like again and again and again, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I'll do it next month. I'll do it when X, Y, and Z. That's just going to make it more and more scary. Like that tension just builds up inside of you. And it's actually so freeing to just go for it and do it. So much easier said than done, I know, but it's just so much more freeing to live that way. And like I said before, I want to expand on that more. If you don't have something you're like passionate about, just start figuring it out. Like if you don't feel like you have a niche, it's going to be like, I'm trying to think of how to say this. It's both ways. Like the people will respond to videos that you feel your best in, that feels the most genuine and like you. That's just how it always goes. Like even like silly little videos that I think are gonna flop sometimes do the best because I feel the most me in that moment. Not every time, but honestly, like for more times than not, for sure, when I'm feeling like I'm just like being like goofy and feeling like me on camera is when I feel like people resonate with the videos more. And that also feels better for me. Yeah, it really is a win-win. Like when you start experimenting with different videos and creating different types of content, it's going to end up working out that the videos that make you feel good recording are going to be the ones that your audience likes to watch more. Like that really is just how it goes. I don't know a better way of saying it than that. And if your worry is, well, what if I stop liking these videos? Or another thing I hear a lot is, well, it's a hobby, I don't want to turn it into a job. Again, like you can choose how you show up, and you can choose if you don't want it to turn into a job, but like you get to choose how you show up. And if you're worried like, well, what if I start posting these videos and I change it up completely and then all these people stop following me, or they don't resonate with the videos anymore, I lose followers, which is another thing that I'm so excited and I will be talking about. But they're going to change with you. And if they don't and you lose followers, you're going to gain another like 1,000 more. You're going to be okay. So don't put yourself in a box, and just try your best not to overthink like that. And the way to do that and to get around that is just to start. Another reason I wanted to talk about this topic is because it's been about 2 years since I quit my job and started creating content, and I've just learned so much in this 2 years, along with all my other experience that I had mentioned. That wasn't just for me to be like, yeah, I've worked a bunch of jobs. I've learned so much in all these jobs, and especially these past 2 years being able to play around on social media like I never have before, so consistently too. Like the fact that this is the longest I've been in any job ever. And it's my own doing, which is amazing. Like it feels really cool. The next thing I would do if I had to start over is I wouldn't stress about timing or analytics. A lot of what I would do when I first started is I would follow those accounts that would say like best times to post Tuesday 9 a.m., Thursday this time. I don't know, there was just so many different ones like that, and I wish I just never listened to them at all, because that took so much of my brain power, being like, oh well shoot, it's Wednesday after 10 a.m. and I missed the 3 p.m. window to post. Like, well, now I can't post today. No, actually post whenever. I do try to look at analytics like a little bit now, because I have like a larger following, and depending on the video, if it's local, like I do want to post at times where my local followers will be more active. But honestly, even still now, for the most part, if it's just like a fun little video I'm posting too, I'm not stressing about the analytics at all. Like I am just getting content out when I get it out. I get it out and I feel like posting, so I post the content. More than looking at the times, because there's times I look in my head sometimes. I'm like, well, I posted on Tuesday at 3 p.m. and it did so well. I'm going to do it again. And then it will like flop. So it doesn't work that way. Okay, I will say the one thing I have noticed, again, this depends on your audience, and I do stand by this. I do always try not to post on Monday. Like people seem, and I get it, like everyone's just in a worse mood on Monday, and I feel like they're less inclined to like your video. So I feel like it depends on the type of content that you do post. Like maybe if it's like a motivational sort of post, maybe Monday is good to post. Not 100% sure on that, but again, like play around and find out. But overall, I would say like Mondays is like I will rarely post on Instagram on Mondays, especially. The algorithm changes so chaotically all the time, so who knows, like that could change next week for all we know. But more than looking at those times, I value consistency so much more. Like Instagram, TikTok, all these apps, they want to see that you are engaging with other accounts. So don't go on there, post, and then exit out of there. Like I do think it's really important. I've seen some people say like 15 minutes before you post. Who's got the time for that? Who's got the brain energy for that? I don't. But I do. First, it just makes me feel good to engage in other people's content. Like I love just going through my explore page even and being like, that's a cute post, I'm gonna hype this girl up. Like going on there, that's a cool quote, like I'm gonna respond to it, I'm gonna comment on it, I'm gonna like it. That will boost your page up more. Like Instagram, it's robotic, all these like AI platforms and stuff, they want to value creators and businesses that are active on the platforms and that are like giving back. So I've seen that also do really well. Like I've noticed, even though I do love like being off my phone and like not scrolling social media too much, I have noticed it does impact my videos, which is so sucky. Like I'm so, for being on social media, like as like part of my career right now. It's so funny because I also like hate it. But I do notice a difference like on TikTok when I'm responding to other people's videos and even like liking other people's videos and posting at the same time, like consistently. I've noticed that my videos do better. So I've been playing around with that a lot, and that is like what I've noticed right now. That's where the algorithm stands as of March 2026. But again, like that could always change. So take everything with a grain of salt depending on when you're listening to this. Yeah, try just not to stress too much about how your content looks or being like a perfectionist, because early content especially is supposed to be messy. Like imagine how boring that would be if we just came out of the gate with perfect content. Like it's so fun to look back on my content and see how much it's changed and grown. And I am like a perfectionist still because I see someone else's content and I do automatically compare. Now it comes from more of like an applaud place, but I'm still like, oh, I'm going to try to do better at, I don't know, like nailing my content in like the similar way that they did in their videos. But it's so fun to go back to my older videos when I need like a good reminder. I'm like, well, I was a lot worse at one point and I thought I was killing it. So at least I'm more self-aware now. But it's so cool to see just how things have changed. And even my personality, like I can tell that I've gone so much more comfortable being on camera and filming in public. There's so many times I still get really anxious and scared. A lot of times I will bring like my siblings or my boyfriend or someone with me when I do record because it's nerve-wracking, but also it's kind of a fun challenge too. Like I do still like going to do some videos alone because it like forces me. It's like if I'm getting too comfortable, then I just like force myself to do a video alone, and I'm like, whew, okay, good reminder that I can do it. It's an awful experience sometimes, but it gets easier every time that you do it. And at the end of the day, it's fun for me. Like, who cares what anyone else thinks? Like, another thing I would do if I had to start over, instead of trying to nail down a niche, I would do this instead. I would look at my goals. Before I was looking at content goals, instead, I would look at, do I want to educate people? Do I want to help people? Do I want to motivate people? Do I want to entertain people? Do I want to be relatable? I wish I came at it from that angle instead. Again, each of those can change, or you can like make all of them a collaborative experience on your page. You don't have to choose just one, but I feel like all those fall under a sort of umbrella to like encapsulate your content. And I wasn't going from that angle at all when I first started posting on social media. But I think doing that too, I feel like doing that also will inspire you more and also help you get content ideas when you know what your overall goal is for your audience. Like if I'm trying to, I don't know, make people laugh or entertain them, like I'm going to consciously be on the lookout for things around me that inspire me to draw into my content. If I have a funny experience like with a friend or a random stranger, I'm gonna be like, that's a TikTok idea. I've been trying to merge them more, so I do the same thing on Instagram and TikTok. Recently I've been trying to do that. I've been kind of slacking on it, so this is a good reminder to post some of my like TikToks on my Instagram today, even because sometimes I get scared. It feels like it's like, I don't know, Instagram and TikTok are just like different beasts, and I feel like the people on Instagram, I'm used to showing up that way in like a clear, clean, perfect-ish way, and TikTok is it's so much more messy. Like, oh my goodness, if you guys look at it right now, TikTok is all over the place and just so much more me. And I do want to keep saying draw. I do want to bring more of that onto my Instagram, but it's a little scary. But I want to do more things that scare me this year, so I'm definitely going to try to do that more because who that cares? And if they unfollow me, they unfollow me. Like, okay. Again, though, we get to choose how we want to show up. If you want to show up differently on platforms, maybe like try out different versions of yourself on these platforms. Like, you really can do whatever you want, and that is so freeing to remember. You can always pick a direction, but not have to put yourself into a box. Like, you're just always going to be changing. A lot of what helped me build my platform too, that I would do if I start over, because I have started over, not only with this podcast by starting Bizzy Girl Era Instagram, but also starting my coffee company Instagram, Bizzy Bean Coffee. I try out different things on there all the time, and I'm also had to start over on there. And what has really helped me grow those accounts is inspiration, not copying and pasting like I've talked about before that I used to do, but what like a really great tip that I tell all my content creator friends and also literally every small business owner that comes to me seeking advice or consulting, then like one of the top and easiest tips I tell them is to go on Instagram and TikTok, scroll their business account, When they find posts that they like, to save them to a save folder called, like, I don't know, whatever you want to name it, recreate or inspo, restaurant inspo or spa inspo, whatever you want to name it. You know, I'm like hungry because I keep saying restaurant. But you can name it whatever you want to name it. And I've done these, like, on each of my accounts, I have a folder of save stuff for when I'm lacking creativity, or maybe I just have, like, what do I want to call it? Like, I don't know, I just have like the content creating itch where I'm like, I want to post something. I have nothing to post, but I want to post something. It's also just like really free and just go in there and then I can just pick any idea. And a lot of the ideas I have saved in there are just like quick and easy ideas that I could easily recreate. Like, an example of one is maybe there's like a funny text on top of a video and it says like POV something relatable. I'm not gonna like copy and paste that text exactly unless it's like a trend or something, but I use that as inspo, and then that way, like, a lot of the times, probably like 9 times out of 10, I could just go through my camera roll, find something that applies to it, stick it on Instagram really quick with text over it, and then boom, I have a video in seconds. Like, it's really that easy. Like, I used to do a lot is I would just tell myself I'm gonna remember. I'd be like, that's a cute video, I'm gonna remember. Another key detail that I tell business owners and content creators like starting out, when they're doing this, think about why you stopped scrolling. Think about why you like that video. Basically question everything. It's kind of exhausting, but I love it. It's my favorite hobby. It's my favorite thing to do when I'm like scrolling and I'm like, oh, that's a cute video. Automatically, I'm like, why is it a cute video? What caught my eye first? That's like what I try to notice right away. Like, I don't know, it becomes addicting. Once you start doing it, you do it in everything. This was probably my favorite class I took at my school was I took a marketing course, and the teacher had told me, like, the professor told me, every time you see a billboard or even like a bottle, like I think she gave an example of like a wine bottle, like perfumes, a snack at the store, every time you look at it and something catches your eye, take note of it right away. That is like some of the biggest marketing advice that anyone can do. Take note of it right away and ask yourself, why did this make me stop? What did I like about it? What distracted me from all these other items that I'm looking at? Because the more shelf space that things take up, the more impressive it is that this one thing caught my eye. Is it the font? Is it the writing? Is it the design? The text on it? There's just so many things, and that same skill, I've just applied that to social media. I should write that professor an email, honestly, because that is like one of the main reasons that my account has grown, is like thinking of things that make people stop. It becomes so impressive once you realize, like, especially now, our brains are just constantly exposed to so much content 24/7 with our phones, TV, ads. Like, there are so many screens and distractions all around us. So when anything takes my attention away from something else that I'm looking at, I automatically notice and I ask myself, like as soon as I see something, as soon as I have the thought of, oh, I like this, whatever thought I have about it, I ask myself what I noticed first about it, and I try to recreate that in my content. So when I'm saving all these things for inspo, I'm not copying them exactly, because copying someone else's content, I mean, you can try to do it. It's just copying someone else's content like word for word. For one, it's going to feel icky, and also it's going to be disingenuous, and people are going to be able to realize it. But taking inspo from it and combining a mix of things that you've seen, and that's even what I'll do. Like, if I'm scrolling down all my saved posts of different like reels or posts that I plan to recreate, I might even like be like, oh, that one's kind of cool. I like the text for that one. I might try to do a similar font. Oh, but I like the message behind this one. Like, you can create it in your own way, which is so cool. And then from there you can create your own like distraction for people. It's so hard because, for one, I definitely have undiagnosed ADHD, but like no matter where I'm at, I feel like, especially crowded places like baseball games, if I go to like a baseball game or something, I'm constantly looking around. If I'm like, oh, that's a cool ad, I'm like, why do I think that's a cool ad? What stuck out to me about that ad? And then I start like therapizing myself, which is funny. That is like, if there's one thing you take away from today's episode, I hope it's that. And I just can't stress enough that your content is going to evolve. Like, if you're doing it right and you're being authentic to yourself, there's no way that it can't evolve. I just want to remind you guys that that's okay. Even if you lose followers at first, like, don't panic. That would be weird if they didn't. Now I want to talk about my major regrets I have when I first started creating content, and also, just regrets I've made for other businesses I've worked with, myself, and advise you guys not to make them. Number one regret has to do with mindset, honestly. It's me not thinking that there was enough room for everyone. Like, I remember I did this in pretty much every business that I had started. I remember thinking, like, when I started my first business, I would see other accounts post similar to me, and I would automatically feel this like judgment inside of me. And that just comes from such like a small-minded place of thinking that there's not enough room for everyone, which sounds so stupid, but like there is room for everyone at the top, you know? Like, it's so cliche, but it is so true and such a good reminder. Like, I would come at things from like a competitive mindset instead of realizing like, hey, that person did that well. I'm going to try to do something similar, and I'm going to use it as inspiration instead of like trying to use it as like, oh, fuel for I'm gonna beat them, you know? Like, I didn't like the way I looked at things that way. And then I did the same thing when I was like starting to create content first. I would see other influencers and I would automatically compare myself. And there was so many times I had like little mini minor breakdowns where I would be like, oh my, like, do I need to switch? Do I need to start doing like hair videos? That girl does such good content for makeup. Should I start doing makeup? Like, it just wasn't authentic. So that definitely made me spiral a lot, thinking that there wasn't room for everyone. And then I feel like once you see that change and start living your life that way, it becomes happier. But then also, like, people start like applauding you too. Like, I love when someone appreciates the hard work and effort I've put into any business I create or content or video or anything. So it's cool to be able to give that back and also applaud the people that are trying to do the same thing as you, because you know how hard it is. You know how hard it is to put yourself out there, to be on camera or start a business or announce something. So when you see someone else do it, it's like, why would you be part of, you know, like trying to put them down, you know? I feel like I was subconsciously doing that. My next regret would be overthinking and not posting my damn drafts. That honestly pisses me off so much. It's story time. Okay, so this is actually a little story because I still have an issue doing this. It's gotten a lot better from said story, but I used to have so many drafts on TikTok, like probably over 100 drafts on TikTok. And I would create a video and I'd be like, this is funny. And then something would come over me, the overthinkingness, and I would draft it. I'd be like, I'll come back to it. Spoiler, I never came back to it. I'm getting sad even thinking about this. What had happened was, I always thought about it. Whenever I would save a draft, I'd be like, I gotta go through these. I gotta post some of these. And then I still would not post them and I would add to it. Such a toxic cycle. I don't know. Crazy. Anyway, though, I had gotten a new phone. And silly little me forgot when you get a new phone that all your drafts, they magically go away. Yes, that was great. It wasn't. But that really did inspire me. I was like, just post a draft. Like, there's so many times I overthink it way too much. And it's like, that video, and this is what I think we should start telling ourselves, like, that could be the next viral video. We are not giving ourselves enough credit. Like, start boosting your own ego more, I think. Like, unless you're saying something crazy controversial, like, don't overthink it and post a damn video, you know? I think it's so easy to talk ourselves out of posting it, and instead we need to put that focus on talking ourselves into posting the video, because it's also just not that deep. Like, the worst that's going to happen, it's going to get no likes. Okay, post another one right after that. Like, just keep doing it. And then also, I think that comes from like trying to please other people. Like, it should just be about what you want to post, the message you get across. And there's also so many silent viewers. So what I try to tell myself and also think about when I post a video is, even if this got 0 likes, but maybe 10 people saw it, and maybe one of those people thought it was funny and showed their friend. Like, that's a win. That's cool that you could make someone smile, educate them, inspire. That goes back to your goals and what you want to achieve in your page. Like, you don't know who's really seeing it at the end of the day. So that's pretty cool, and it makes me post my drafts more. And I just really regret that I took so long to actually post them. Even now, I'm like, after this, I'm going in my room and I'm posting all my freaking drafts, because no way, no, why, what, like, what am I waiting for? And that's like, that goes back to the hardest thing to do is to just start. And once you get in the cycle of saving drafts, you should have 0 drafts right now. You should have 0 drafts. That's also a message to me. Like, I'm trying to lock that in my brain right now. Like, you should have 0 drafts. Other regret I have that is so embarrassing to say, but we're out here being real, is Over editing. I would over edit the crap out of every video that I made when I first started making it. And I'm not talking about just like little edits here and there of my drafts. I would Facetune myself so hard. Like it would be so crazy. The filters that I put on myself, I got way too carried away with them, where it looked like my face just looked so flat and my eyes looked huge and buggy. And yeah, it became way too much. And like that, yeah, that definitely just came from a place of insecurity, and I'm really glad that I don't go crazy anymore. And I just think that spreads such the wrong message that especially like the younger girls that started following me, like, and I am such a stalker. Like, I get new followers, especially if there's a huge surge of them. I look at everyone's like profiles. I'm really outing myself. But if someone comments a lot on my videos too, I am always going to stalk you. Like, I'm sorry about it. Your Instagram's right there. I love when they're not private. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, I have an issue with it. Sometimes I'll go too far and I'll be like in your guys' tagged photos, and I'm sorry about it. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Like, it's so fun. Especially if someone leaves a nice comment or something. Like, of course I'm going to go to your Instagram and stalk it. Are you crazy? Yeah, I feel like that spread such the wrong message when like younger girls started following me. I wanted them to know like this is not how anyone looks, because there's times obviously it's so hard for any of us to like see a gorgeous girl on Instagram and not want to be them. And a lot of these gorgeous girls don't look like themselves. Like, that just gives us, we're trying to reach a beauty standard that does not exist. And I just don't want to be a part of that. And also, sometimes lighting is just really good and sometimes lighting's really bad. That's what my sister and I always love to say. We're like, if we take a bad photo of each other and we're like, oh, we look ugly here, we always tell each other, we're like, no, you're not. It's the lighting. It's the lighting that's making you look ugly. It's not you. Even like this, if you're watching online right now, I kind of look better in this dark online. My grandma, I kind of look better in this dark light right now than if I'm up here and you can see like all my pores and flaws. Well, it depends, I guess, at the quality that this video is uploaded at. But that is the truth. Like, you guys can't. And I'm also wearing makeup on top of it. Like, we really never know. So just try. Really think of that when you are comparing yourself with people online. I know it's really hard too, and I struggle with it too, but it's just something good to know. Following too many rules about posting. I feel like I mostly covered that one. But yeah, don't focus on I gotta post at 10 a.m. Well, this video did good at 3 p.m. I'm gonna try to recreate that. Like, I've posted videos at 9 p.m. before on days that my analytics should have been in the dumpster, and the video did really well. It's like one of my best videos. So yeah, you really just never know. Another regret is trying to please everyone. Like, we can't do that, especially the bigger your Instagram goes, or Instagram, it doesn't have to be Instagram, TikTok, any social media you have, the bigger it gets, the more people are going to comment. Like, sometimes I get in the toxic cycle of responding to the mean comments, and I always just feel worse after. It's never worth it. I'm like, whenever I sink myself down to their level, and they're rage baiting me, and I'm like, they won. The second I respond, they just won. I think there's some circumstances where it's fine if you have like a funny response, but more times than not, it's me just trying to be neutral, and then I don't know. Sometimes they get me, but yeah, it's never worth it. And people are always going to want something different from you. So that's also why I have to take little breaks from social media sometimes, because I have to remember, like, it's up to me. It's my choice to be posting on here. No one gets to decide how I show up on here except for me. I think along with the people pleasing thing too, another regret I have is when I first started posting, and well, I was all over the place. But then once I got a good feeling of like, oh, people are liking these local videos, I put myself into a box where I thought that everyone just wanted to see these local videos. And I was kind of like riding that wave for a bit, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I can just like keep posting local videos. This is fun. Getting to try cool food places and coffee shops. I'm loving it. And spas, so much fun. I had thought that people liked me. I was like, I'm gonna post like a random like silly little video of myself, and I don't even remember what it was, but I remember posting it and it flopped. And I mean like flopped, because I had videos all in a row that had like thousands of likes, right? And then I posted, this was about a year ago. Yeah, no, a little over a year ago. And then I had posted a video of that I just felt very me in, and it was like me saying something, maybe like an unpopular opinion, something. And yeah, I want to say I got like 50 likes compared to the thousands that I was getting. And damn, did that like do something to my ego? I was like, oh, okay, so I was thinking that these people had liked me and that's why they followed me. I was like, no, they just wanted to see these new places in town. And that was eye-opening to see. I don't know why I was stupid, but once I saw that, I have to make a decision. It's like I could keep creating these food reviews and it's not bad. Like I was having fun doing them, but there was a little piece of me that felt like it was missing in these videos. Like I felt like I had to censor myself so much and just not be the real me. And that felt so, it was scary because I was like, okay, now I'm like, do I completely shift how I show up online? Like my ego definitely did take a hit. Like you think people are following you for you, and then you find this out. It's like, oh, well, dang. And yeah, it got me pretty down for sure. So I think at first, I'm trying to think back. I want to say I started posting food videos again, but then again, like it felt like I was in this mindset of like when I was back in my 9 to 5, like I'm doing something for someone else. I am people pleasing right now. So I had to make a decision, and I started including more content of myself, like funny random moments, behind the scenes, just things that felt more me. And people's responses, they weren't great. Even like some of my not so close anymore friends would say things about the content, and I was like, oh, this is a really weird shift. Like yeah, I won't speak too much on that yet, but it was strange the way they responded to it was like from a judgmental place, and it also just showed that like they also didn't know the real me. I was like, oh, like you think I'm the online version of me. Like, no, there is so much more to me, and that feels so much better showing up online. Even though the videos, this was the hard part, they did flop for a while, but then it started growing more and more, and I would get 60 likes, 70 likes, 80 likes. And did I lose followers? Absolutely. I lost hundreds. Guys, I probably lost like over 1,000 followers, and that was so scary. That was so scary to see, especially when I quit my job for this, and it felt like everyone hated me, and that wasn't the case at all, because I didn't lose half my followers even. Like, it could have been so much worse than it actually was, and I was just being so I was being so dramatic and hard on myself for no freaking reason. And it feels so much better to post things that feel like me. And then I started gaining followers over time too that would agree with something I said or thought it was funny or relatable. And that was so cool to see. And then that is so much more worth it. Like, people can tell when you're not being genuine, and it's just kind of like your followers are either going to stay stable or it's going to start decreasing. And that is what was happening to me. And sometimes I still get in that little rut now where I think, well, people expect this sort of content from me. Okay, that doesn't matter. Like, I still can post whatever I want to post. Like, this is fun. Social media isn't meant to be that serious. Even if you are doing it as like a full-time career, the second it becomes that serious, I don't want to do it anymore. And that just comes from trying to please everyone and to put yourself in a box. That's why I should have named this podcast at this point. I say it so much. But yeah, it comes from like trying to force yourself to be in this, I can't think of another word, but in a box. One of my last regrets is just caring too much about what people think of me when I'm not even that close with them. I considered them friends, but the more I thought about it is I was so scared of their judgment because they were going to judge me, which is like not friends that are close to me in my life anymore, which is so nice. Because now, like, if my friends do say something about my videos, it comes from like either like a loving place, playful place, or honestly, that's pretty much it. Like, yeah. And that's so nice. Like, they're never actually just like being mean about my content or saying like passive aggressive things, because that's the worst to me when someone like a friend, again, quote, friend, says like something passive aggressive about like, oh, you're trying to do this, you're trying to start social media, like, that's cute. I don't know, there's just little words that people use that I'm automatically like, okay, I'm gonna flag that. And then if they keep saying similar things like that, I'm like, okay, I'm out. And that's why my friend circle is so small now, but it's also like the most me I've felt, and why I felt comfortable, why I feel comfortable bringing like so many different friends, and like the variety of friends I have too is so diverse in every aspect. Like, it's so all over the place and it's amazing. Like, I just really love it. Okay, anyway though. Yeah, that's my last regret. And like, I still obviously am really figuring things out. That's why I wanted to start this podcast at a place that doesn't feel like I have my life together, because I think that's more relatable and also good to see online. I want you guys to see where I'm at, and that like we're still building this together, and to invite you guys into my life in so many different ways. Like, even the filming of this podcast has been so chaotic. Like, I'm still filming out. Oh gosh, I need a break or more coffee, either or. This is why I'm still like figuring out the days that I want to record and edit the podcast, and even the equipment. Like, I'm not starting when everything's perfect. My setup right now is the funniest thing in the world. Like, I have my iPad over here that had died last episode in the middle of recording. That was like, that did something to me. Like, I was so angry when that happened. On top of that, my phone had overheated last episode too, and I was really just going through it. But while this was happening, I was like, I don't know, this is funny. Because like, you don't need any high tech equipment to start anything that you want to start. Like, you can literally use the basics of the basics. Like, I'm using this mic that's like, I don't know, 7 years old, that I had found in the house. And if not that, I would have bought like a $15 one off Amazon. If not that, I would have used nothing. I would have just recorded into my voice memos. Like, I think it is such, as much as I hate social media, that's just so funny because of what this episode's about. But as much as I don't like consuming too much like content or being online, I think it is so cool and like such a blessing to have access to so many different things. Like, the fact that anyone can start a podcast is really awesome, and I love that I get to share this experience with you guys. So yeah, I just want this episode to be a reminder of so many things, of like not comparing yourself to the other people around you, because they don't look how they actually look online. And also just some tips, because one thing I never want to do is gatekeep. Like, anyone can ask me for tips or advice anytime on Instagram or TikTok, and I will respond so quick. That's a lie. And I will respond. I don't know why I said so quick. I think it's time to wrap up this episode, because I think I'm just saying things to say things. But even this, I'm like, at first I'm like, should I cut this out? No, I'm not going to cut this out, because I want you guys to see like all the real parts of this podcast. And I think it's so fun. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. If you are enjoying the episodes, please leave a review, leave a comment if you're on YouTube or Spotify. I love hearing your guys' feedback, and let me know what episodes you guys want to see next. And if you leave a review, let me know so I can stalk your Instagram like the little stalker that I am. Just please remember to have fun, play with your content, and just keep showing up. I think that is the hardest part, is starting and then also consistently showing up after that. But if you have that little content creating itch inside of you, go for it. Like, life is way too short. We know this. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.